I am an only child of my parents, right? And that's a very unique thing because people around me had brothers and sisters and families. We were a nuclear family back in 1965, eons back. A 19, huh? Not a 20. All right. Now, as we stayed, Ma, Baba, and me, I went to my first school. I was 8 years old, and that's when I had a unique experience. The experience was that my friend took me to his house to have lunch. I've always loved food, so I went to his place. But just before lunch, he said, Idara, I want you to meet my grandparents. They're very old. I said, okay. And then he winked at me and said, let us meet them before they go. So we both laughed. And before lunch, I was set, so I went to meet his grandparents. And when the door opened, I saw them sitting, and something hit me. What hit me was that his grandparents looked like my parents. For the first time, I realized that my parents were very old. Up till then, I did not realize it. And the second thing I realized was thanks to the joke that he had cracked. Let's meet them before they go. I realized just like his grandparents may go soon, so could my parents. Now remember, I was an 8-year-old, and the first fear that hit me was, gosh, what if I become an orphan? हिंदी में जिसे हम कहते हैं अनाथ. Now, why I want to begin this conversation this way is that was the beginning of my journey in life when I got that I have to take care of parents. They're old. There has to be something that I have to add for them. So I want to do something. And that continued even through school, college, that I have to do something amazing with my life. Now, we all agree that we all want to do something amazing with our life. But the question always is, what? Would you agree? What is it that we can be doing? So, all of us are looking for some extraordinary idea, right? What is the idea? Now, one of the interesting things that I've discovered in life is that ideas don't come completely formed. Ideas are just thoughts. And when those thoughts can be turned into something exciting, that is when something amazing happens. Now, ideas, where are they sourced from? Ideas, like in my case, I discovered that my parents are very old. I have got to do something. I can't depend on them. So, ideas are sourced from pain points. Ideas are sourced from regrets. Ideas are sourced from questions that you may have. And most importantly, ideas are sourced from curiosity. So as I grew in life, as I discovered things in life, one of the things that I got is that I have to create something amazing with my life, and I did not know what that will be. Now comes a very, very interesting question. You have got ideas, and to the ideas, you add your imagination. So at that point, I did not know what I will do. I was very clear that, of course, I had to study. Remember, my mother was a Bengali mother, and she was very, very ambitious about me. She wanted me to join the IIT. But there was a catch. I was pathetic in maths. Pathetic is an understatement. I did not pass mostly in maths. But imagine my Bengali mother, she still wanted me to still try hard for IIT. She found me very bright. I said, Ma, you find me bright. My answer sheets don't find me bright. So, what do you do in that case? That's when you say that even though others are thinking in a particular way for you, you go to think something different. And that's when acting came my way. I discovered that if I have to do something amazing, the known patterns are not giving me results. But can I be discovering something which is not seen by others? And therefore, That was the beginning of me wanting to see myself in a role, wanting to see myself in a future that had not happened up till now. Now, typically, if you look at life, we are all run by people around us, right? We see somebody doing it, we say, wow, I got to be like that person. Oh, we got to be like that person. And terribly, people around us also tell you, hey, listen, why don't you try and be like that person? Why don't you try and be like that person? Now, that has a catch. That person whom you're seeing very, very successful, actually, that person has got some passion for what that person is doing. On the other hand, when somebody suggests something to you, be like that person, they are thrusting somebody's things and work and specialities on you. So I understood at that point, I'm not very good at fulfilling others' aspirations, including IIT. But I knew I could do something amazing with what I could do. So, a key point that you and I have to really get, imagine that you can see a future even before the world agrees that you can be part of it. Now, years later, after I came down to Mumbai, I was working, I suddenly discovered that I wanted to do some films down south. Now, south and north were a huge distance away just 20 years back because we didn't have pan India films. We had Hindi films and what they called South Indian films. Because North India doesn't know much about South India. They think there's one language called South Indian. Just like many people here think there's one language called Hindi. No. India has many languages, many cultures, and guess what? Films are made in so many languages. So today, as I stand in front of you, I have done more than 300 plus films. And thank you so much. And can I share another very interesting thing with you? I have died in 11 languages. Now, because 90% of my films I have been a villain, right? So just to satisfy people like you, they first hate me and then they kill me. Now, I didn't mind because I was now becoming something nobody ever imagined I could be. So, a key part for you is that in your imagination, you will be imagining things which will seem idiotic. I have one request, don't censor your imagination. You know what you censor your imagination with? You censor your imagination with certain facts. No, nobody has ever done this. Okay? There's some practicality, there's some judgment, there's some fear, and people do a lot to add that to you. I want you to be somebody who can think of idiotic, so to say, idiotic dreams and imagination and then go for it. Because remember, the world will only see from the prism that they can. But you are the unique one who can actually see a world which is widening right in front of you. And why is imagination important? I'll tell you that also. Can we have that on? The one reason that imagination is important is that imagination allows you to do a rehearsal of reality. This is off, just to let you know. Imagination allows you to practice reality. That reality which is not yet there, you are now practicing it through your imagination. Now, here comes a very, very interesting part. Just like imagination is important and you can see of amazing things that you can try, yet the most important part of imagination is action. And you know why? Action is humbling. Action allows you to actually meet the road. Because action tells you those amazing things that you thought were possible in imagination. It's a reality check. So actions will allow you to humble yourself. Because when you take action, you will fail. When you take action, people will start giving you feedback. When you take action, you will also see your limitations, and therefore, you discover that you need to be more than where you are at this moment if you want to do something amazing with your life. And therefore, A very, very important constituent of all of this is that important thing called courage. Because as you move in your life, you will discover the actions that you want to take and you can see that you need to take can only be stopped by one thing, which is, I will do it later. I promise you, as I have been growing in life, doing many things, I am filled with fear. That's right. Courage, my friend, is not the absence of fear. It is your ability to move in spite of fear. And as you grow in life, can I promise you another interesting thing? Your fears will only increase. Because now you have a lot more to lose. So remember, I don't care about fear because I have discovered that if I'm static, the fear will increase. On the other hand, when I have the ability to move, that's when new horizons appear. So, as I was being an actor across 11 languages now, and they had very clearly branded me as the villain, so I said, I will do something more. Now that they're clear, I can be villain in 11 languages. How will it be if I can do something else? Now, here is a very important thing that I've discovered in life. All of us love to grow our strengths. Yes or yes? But you know what? I discovered another thing. Just like I have strengths, I have a lot of weaknesses also. How will it be, Ashish, if you can pivot not just on your strength, but also on your weakness? Shall I give you an example of that? A quick check. What day is it today? Ah, Saturday. Good, good, good. On Saturdays, I'm talkative. Also on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. All my life I grew. People calling me, you're so talkative. All my life, people have told me, you are such filled with nervous energy, continuously moving around, so restless. I said, I will pivot on that. And guess what? Very soon, 15 years back, the talkative became a motivational speaker. And the person who was restless became a vlogger, traveling continuously, capturing tales. So the moment you realize that everything that is yours, and you have the ability to pivot it, don't wait for your weaknesses to go away. Use it to your advantage. Now comes a very unique part. That even as you're living all of this, you're doing things courageously, you're being in action, you're fulfilling imagination, you're giving it wings. Remember, an amazing thing that will happen is that you will fall. As you become bigger, more people will notice your fall. And I promise you something, that's far more dangerous than what it is seeming right now. It is not a concept, it's a reality. You fall and then you look around. Who saw me fall? Yeah. Imagine when you are bigger, you now have a reputation and you're falling. Isn't that humiliating? Yes or yes? No, it isn't. It is simply that you fell. If you make it humiliating, it is. On the other hand, if you say, yes, I fell, it's just a fall. Just let you know, I'm limping a little bit because I had an accident last week. You know what? We took a hit, but we are out and in action. Remember in life, my friend, that personal touch of yours, which you give to your life with even your faults, is your uniqueness. It is what makes you special. And a very important part of us in human beingness is our vulnerability. The vulnerability separates you from her, her from me from him. Each one of us has that extra X factor. You know your X factor, right? That's something odd about you, But people say, yeah, there's something odd about you. That odd is your X factor. Now, all our life, we want to become like somebody. We want to dilute our X factor. But you know the amazing people that you see? Look carefully. They don't look the same. They have unique X factors. And do you know what? All of us have X factors. Some people encourage their X factor. So, a key part in life that I've discovered is that I am going to celebrate my X factor, which is my vulnerability, which are my mistakes, which are my uniquenesses, which are my rough edges. And therefore, over the last 30 years now, I've also seen that I'm also an actor. I'll tell you an interesting anecdote. Years back, I had seen the advertisement of Tata Steel. Does anyone remember that advertisement? The byline? I'll tell you. The Tata Steel byline used to be, "We also make steel." Imagine a steel company saying, "We also make steel." I say, wow, how will it be if I can get that I am an also person, not an only person? And that's when I got, Ashish, you're also an actor. You're also a speaker. You're also a vlogger. You're also a son, husband. You're also a friend. You're somebody who's passionate about life. So today, as I stand in front of you at the age of 60, I am hungry. I am learning. And I am on fire. And at each of those moments, I'm celebrating one and only one thing. I'm celebrating my unfair advantage, which none of you has. You know what that is? My unique dreams. My friends, each one of you has a unique dream which you really want to fulfill. It is a special dream for which you need no one to wake you up. So therefore, nurture your dream. Turn that imagination into reality through your actions and have the courage to live a life which you can truly say, I am living my passion. Thank you so very much.